Good morning, everyone. Another really nice performance, victory for Celtic yesterday. A pretty rotated team. I think 5 changes made up against one of the better teams in Scotland. I don't know what that says about the state of Scottish football beneath us at the moment, but regardless, Dundee United were third going into the game. They're fourth now, and we completely dismantled them 3-0. Just me on today's video, as in me on right now. I'm not talking to anyone right now. It's going to be a little bit of a shorter and different reaction. But fear not, if you need or want, for some weird reason, your weekend dose of Stevie. He did send in some thoughts shortly after full time from outside Celtic Park, and we're going to kick off with that.
Hi Hamish, Celtic 3, Dundee United 0, and before I go into anything out of the game, look, it's not pitch black, so I'm not moaning. I'm actually in a relatively good mood, and it's not freezing. A few weeks to go now and the clocks will be moving forward. I pray God they go in very, very quickly. Celtic 3, Dundee United 0. That was a pretty welcome opposition to be facing today, and a flat-footed and very one-paced, one-dimensional Dundee United side, especially after such a high-intense and energetic game in midweek against Bayern Munich. So yeah, I think when we've played Dundee United before, we've always had a lot of the ball. We know what we're up against, a side that will essentially park the bus, and they've not got a lot of pace. Middleton's a wee bit of a threat, and they've got a pretty decent striker, but you can cut through their midfield if you play with pace, and that's what we did today. And I thought the 3 goals were absolutely fantastic. I wanted to talk very quickly about the first 2 though, because they reminded me of moments in the past with Celtic. The one with Callum McGregor, where he beat a few men and put it in the corner to get us on our way to the win. His run reminded me a lot of his one at Ibrox in April 2022, when he beat 3 men out wide, and it was the way that he stopped and just went, I'm taking responsibility here. Beat the men, and remember he got us into that game against Rangers at Ibrox. So it was the same again today. He just decided, you know what, I'm going to take responsibility here now. Beat the Dundee United players and put it in past the goalie. Cracking finish. Jota's one reminded me a lot of the semi-final against Aberdeen when James Forrest scored last season for each game. Cut inside and then he unleashed it. Don't know if it bounced over the goalkeeper or not, but it just reminded me of that type of goal that James Forrest scored. But I thought Jota was great today in general. Really good performance, and him and Jeffrey Schlupp linked up very well. I thought Schlupp was excellent today. Really comfortable, very solid performance. Good wee burst of pace as well at times in the first half to make sure that we never let Dundee United get in behind us. And what a goal that would have been, the one that came right off the post. Amazing strike, and he's done his chances no harm to be starting in Munich on Tuesday. I was really impressed with him. Very rarely gave the ball away too. And what a strike from Adam Ida. Very frustrating afternoon for him. I was watching him in the second half and he was getting wound up at Daisy Maeda a couple of times, not putting the ball across to him quickly enough. But aye, what a strike that was. That's probably the best goal he scored for Celtic. But no, as I said, Dundee United really didn't threaten us. We're solid enough. They have a bit of a physical presence, but CCV and Trusty dealt with Dalby pretty well. And now we're just going to that game in Munich, and hopefully, we don't get thrashed, and there's a 1% chance we can maybe get something from it. I think he will still go with Maeda through the middle, despite Ida's cracking goal today. So we'll see how that goes on Tuesday, and no doubt you'll want to talk about that more. Just a wee note very quickly today. I had a spare ticket for this, and a good number of friends and other people who didn't want the ticket. Some people were just lazy. I'm not going to mention who they are. A couple of people had plans, but it was around my area, there was 20 spare seats, and that could have went to fans that would have been desperate to go today. And this ticket system thing that Celtic still haven't got in place from that mythical fan survey that I don't know if the results have been shared from. I think a lot of fans would have been saying that was a big priority for them back in the summer. I would love to see it, because I'd just rather a ticket was used, and today there was so many spare seats and it was really frustrating and disappointing. So I'm not going to moan too much about it. I hope Celtic get that type of thing sorted very soon. What else? And it was a bit of a surprise, wasn't it, when we were shooting down towards the Jockstein end in the first half. I can't remember the last time that we were shooting that way in the first half before. That's always been the second half for as long as I've supported Celtic. So I'm just thinking off the top of my head, and honestly it's not coming to me for when the last time that was. So maybe you are one of the great audience will be able to let us know the last time it was, but certainly don't think it was this last season or under Ange, so I'd be interested to know when the last time that actually was. But yeah, I'm going to round off here. If people are screaming, I think I'm going to have to make an appearance up there, Hamish. Again, that's us 16 points clear. Hopefully Hearts can do us a wee turn tomorrow. Even you'll take a draw, won't you? And it just rounds off the wins. And hopefully we're going to get that championship title very, very soon. So I think I'm running out of things to say here. That's nearly 5 minutes that I've managed to take up of your time. I'll see you later on and talk to you on the week, maybe.
Great stuff, Stevie. Thanks very much. And yeah, I mean, just on your ticket exchange point, it's no secret. I think that Celtic need to put something into place. I did notice, quite a few empty seats at yesterday's game, but obviously, like, there's just, it feels like there's been so many home games this season. I mean, what have we had? We've had 5 UEFA Champions League games with the club charging a pretty large price for each of those. Minimum of 5. Obviously, we could have more if we do the unthinkable and defeat Bayern Munich on Tuesday night. Even, like, you think of the Scottish Cup and League Cup, and I'm sure out of the 5 games before we go to neutral ground at Hampden, I think every single tie has been at Celtic Park. So there's just been so many matches, and on top of various other things going on in people's lives, I think it's natural that you're going to get some empty seats. I don't know if yesterday's game was officially a sellout. I'd assume it would be because the majority of games are. But yeah, the club need to try and work something out with a ticket exchange system. I think much smaller clubs than ourselves in Scotland have things like that in place. So get to work, Celtic. I'm not holding my breath though, put it that way. Just in terms of the game itself yesterday, I felt like it was total domination right from the start of the game. The team just played with a real intensity and quality, but like a really measured performance as well. I think it's like, maybe as fans, like we obviously see all of these games at Celtic Park, and a lot of them have felt very similar this season in that we've just kind of beaten teams like Dundee United. And by the way, side point, it seems like we've played Dundee United and Dundee about 18 times over the past couple of months. Hopefully we don't have either of them coming up for a wee while yet. But you know what I mean, the games have kind of blended into one a little bit, and it has felt a little bit routine. You turn up, there's not even any real doubt about the way these games are going to turn out. Like, Celtic are going to win, and you kind of know Celtic are going to win convincingly. And maybe it's easy to just slip into a little bit of, as I say, feeling a bit routine. I think what the Celtic team are doing is anything but routine at the moment. The consistency they've showed this season. Brendan Rodgers used the word relentless after the game, and that's what the team have been domestically. And I'm going to talk about the game specifically and go into a couple of players. But I think just generally speaking, like how, Celtic have made these games feel so straightforward and such light work, when in previous years, we've had, real tough matches. Just look at last season. But looking back at our last home league game, starting with yesterday and going back the way, 3-0 against Dundee United, 6-0 against Dundee, 2-0 Dundee United. See what I mean about the whole Dundee thing. 3-0 St Mirren, 4-0 St Johnstone, 4-0 Motherwell, 3-0 Hibs, 5-0 Ross County, 2-0 Dundee. We've still only conceded 2 home league goals all season in over 1,200 minutes at Celtic Park in the league, and those were obviously in the same game within, I think, 10 minutes of each other against Aberdeen. And it's not like we're just keeping clean sheets and Kasper Schmeichel's kind of earning the clean sheets. We're not even looking like conceding at all. And obviously, like, we're going to score in these games, and if you're not conceding and you're scoring, you're going to win. But yeah, it's just I really don't think we should underestimate what Celtic are doing in the league this season. I think it's probably a bit easy with like the Champions League stuff. That's the stuff that gets us all really excited for obvious reasons, and that's been pretty good as well this season. But 69 points we've got in the league. We're going to get close to 100 points, I would reckon. We've won 22 of our 26 matches in the league, which is right up there with any record you'll see from Celtic. And that's with like basically no pressure on us all season from out with the club. Aberdeen at the start of the season were matching us, and it was a bit interesting, but it's been so easy for Celtic just to kind of take their their foot off the gas or whatever, but I think the pressure inside the club, it's not even pressure's not the right word, there's just a real drive in the squad. They love going out there and just every single match is an opportunity for them to go and shine. We've got so many options off the bench now in terms of like players that we can come on against tiring defences, and we can rotate the team, and guys like Luke McCowan come in yesterday and Anthony Ralston, who I think is playing really well at the moment, and I'm glad to see him getting a bit more game time and resting Alistair Johnson. In terms of the game itself, a few players to pick out. Jota is the obvious one. I thought Jota and Jeff Schlupp, if you notice he's Jeff now, I thought they had a really good relationship in the left-hand side, and the thing that I really liked was that Schlupp clearly, drifts inside. I would say he drifts inside more than Greg Taylor, but it's kind of a more advanced drifting. Greg Taylor tends to do it more generally kind of in our own half, whereas Schlupp was playing, especially in the first half yesterday, he was playing as like an attacking midfielder, and he was picking up some really good areas. But the thing I loved about his performance was that he just kind of separated himself from Jota. He wasn't running into Jota's area and overcrowding things. He just stepped away, and quite often he wasn't actually involved. It was Austin Trusty coming out in the left-hand side of defence and playing it straight out to Jota. And Schlupp's just standing in field, but Jota's one-on-one with a defender and suddenly has space. And we know the thing that we all love about Jota, I think, among other things, is that he can go either way. You look at like Lewis Palmer, who was like so predictable. Jota is the total opposite of that. He can go down the line onto his left foot, whips a cross in early on in the game. We nearly score. I think he had one down the line for Ida as well, the header that Ida should score. And it was actually later on in that very move, and it was the same move that Schlupp hit the post as well. It was a crazy couple of minutes. Great stuff to watch when Jota scores his second goal. And again, he just drifts inside and he looks effortless. And I think that kind of sums up Celtic in these games. Like, it looks effortless, but I really don't think it is. I think it's all very clever stuff. So Schlupp, I thought, was his best game. Was it his first start, I think? So maybe we can start to judge him now. Defensively, he was good as well. There's one moment in the first half where he chased back and tackled Glenn Middleton, showed a good bit of pace there. Yeah, I quite like Jeff Schlupp. Jota was like the star man for me, just so threatening. I've already covered the main talking points there, but I mean, if this is a guy just getting up to speed, then God knows what he's going to be like when he's totally flying and has this football fitness that the manager keeps speaking about. So those two were, the left-hand side was the real thing for me. I love the fact Jota gets the ball into feet as well. Like Yang and I guess Kuhn slightly different, but Yang particularly yesterday was always running in behind, and I thought Yang did all right. But Jota was getting it to feet, and it's just, there's such a buzz in the air when he gets the ball because his hips start moving and he's doing step overs and just wee flicks. And quite simply, it's amazing to have him back. I think most of us felt that him coming back would be a masterstroke. It's already looking like that. Elsewhere, I thought Callum McGregor had a good game. Really underrated first goal. It was a point made on Sports Scene. Actually, I was watching that, and like the amount of touches he takes for his goal, it's not like he keeps touching the ball, little touches, and then again it looks effortless, but it's a really good finish. And I thought he had a good game, generally speaking. The defence is, pretty untested in these games, but they did fine. Who else am I saying? Luke McCowan was good, yeah. He's just kind of just turned into a really reliable Celtic player. Maybe not quite at the levels he was when he first came in, but I think he'll reach that again. But I think he's doing really well. Hatate, I think, is playing well at the moment. So yeah, I just thought it was a great watch. I mean, it really was total domination. I know Dundee United maybe were slightly better in the second half, and maybe we weren't quite as threatening. But Adam Ida's goal was brilliant. It was great to see that. I really felt 3-0 was the bare minimum there based on how the game had gone. But the stat that jumped out to me was the fact that we had 15 corners in the game and Dundee United had none. That just shows the dominance and the constant pressure that we're putting on these teams. So yeah, we're 16 points clear of Rangers now. I'm sure you'll know that. They take on Hearts at midday on Sunday. So today, there's a fair chance that game's happened maybe by the time you're watching this. But that should be an interesting watch. But we're in a place now where you're not even massively fussed about that game. Obviously, you always want to see Rangers struggling, and it'd be funny if Hearts somehow managed to beat them, or as Stevie says, even pick up a draw. But like the league's pretty much done, and there's a fair chance I think we're going to have 4 in a row wrapped up before the split. So that's where we are domestically. Thought it was really good stuff. I'm sure you'll let me know what you made of the game. There'll be various points that I've missed, I'm sure. But now we're going to Munich, and like it's a proper game on Tuesday night. I don't know why I've kind of had it in my head. Maybe just when it went 2-0, you automatically think tie over. And even though we get a goal back, you're thinking like the tie's over pretty much. The tie's not over. Like it's obviously we're huge underdogs to go and, well, we need to win the match and then probably another goal or win on penalties. But like it's the tie is alive, and this is a proper game we're going into. And again, just like last week, the pressure really isn't on us. And Bayern Munich drew 0-0 with Bayer Leverkusen away from home yesterday. A bit of a struggle for them. I believe I read somewhere that it was the first full half of football they've had without a shot on goal, Bayern Munich, since the stat was first recorded in Germany. That was back in 1992. So you're talking, what's that, 33 years that they've gone with always having a shot and a half, and they didn't have one in the first half at the Bayern Arena yesterday. So are they there to be got at? Well, the first leg at Celtic Park would suggest they're still a pretty good side. Obviously a huge test for us, but as I keep saying, it's a proper match. We're going to try and win the tie. And if we do, I will do Wednesday morning's video with my top off. Come on, Bayern. But that's what you're all saying. So I'll leave you with that wonderful thought to hopefully not ruin your Sunday. That's pretty much all I've got to say today. As I say, little bit of a shorter video, though we're still probably going to be touching about 20 minutes or so. But yeah, just good stuff. Celtic, we keep moving forward, and there's just so much to look forward to. And Tuesday night's going to come around very fast. This is Sunday. The team are going to be flying out tomorrow, and yeah, it's going to be a huge night, and you never know. A couple of videos still to work ahead to that game to build up to it, so please stick with the channel. We are still going for 13,000 subscribers. Let me just do a quick live check, see where we are. Riveting stuff here. So we're at 12,859 at the moment. So what's that? 141 subscribers away from the big 13,000. And if we get to 13, then Tuesday night might be an unlucky one for Bayern. I'll chat to you tomorrow, everyone.